Hey, this is Frank Klesitz with Viral Marketing. Thanks so much for watching. You are going to learn on this interview how to scale up a real estate team. But we're not going to talk so much about, hiring people in the positions on the team and whatnot. We're going to specifically talk about marketing, database marketing, video marketing, what you have to do to build your brand and generate leads so people have a reason to come work for you. And they stay with you. Because generally speaking, from my experience, maybe Randy might say something different when I introduce him here, but if you're relying 100% on your team members to bring in all the business, that does not put you in a very powerful position as a team owner, because if somebody leaves, there goes all your revenue. You want to be able to have a brand and bring in at least something, for the agents that work for you, or in any profession that you're in for that matter, provide some level of marketing and lead gen support so they can focus on working with clients and you handle someone bringing the business. And one of the challenges you have of going from being, let's say, a solo real estate agent or a solopreneur, independent professional, you could bring in business by yourself all the time on the phones, doing your own deals. But as you start dealing with, the managerial side of the business and the budget side of the business and begin to run it more as a business, you have to get good at marketing and generating business a little more passively than maybe say 100%, outbound you on the phone, making it rain metaphorically all the time. So welcome to this interview. And we're going to introduce Randy here in a second, but I want to let you know, if you're interested in the marketing plan that Randy will talk about today, that he's implementing, it's the plan that all of our clients at Viral Marketing implemented. You can go to our website, getviral, VYRL.com, and right on the homepage, you can download the official video marketing plan that I've written. And it's the plan that I wanted to use before I started Viral. You can hear a whole backstory when you opt in to get it. But it goes through how to reconnect with your existing database, all those people you've been neglecting. It goes through how to add people to your database. How do you get email addresses to add people to your database? How do you grow it? What do you send them to nurture it? And we're going to talk with Randy today how to do it on a high level. So we're going to talk about some advanced content creation strategies. And as well as, what's important as well is you can track who watches these videos as content you send your database to prioritize follow-up. All right. So check out that plan. So Randy, welcome, my friend.
Thanks so much for having me, Frank. Appreciate it.
Cool. We got a whole hour here with the audience to hang out and to hopefully teach and to learn and to share, what works to grow a business where, you kind of hit this holy grail like I did in your write-up. The natural progression of a business is you start off by yourself, and then maybe eventually you hire an assistant and you start using some business skills. And eventually, the vision, I guess, for most people, so you're very much entrepreneur like me, is to have a business that someday is a business and runs, pretty much with just some leadership involvement from you. Sure. And you're on that journey. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, I think it is important.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, you can help more people. You do a great job on your real estate team. You're going to provide a better opportunity for a consistent experience for clients. You're going to provide an opportunity for people to join your team to be able to earn money that would probably struggle. You're doing good in the world by doing this, right?
Yeah, and I think also kind of playing off what you said, that I'm in a position where I know that I'm not great at everything, so I need a team around me so we can be specialists and not generalists, and we can serve our clients and each other at a higher level. So that's part of the catalyst for the whole thing. So
that's actually good. Let's actually start right there.
Yeah.
So why in the world are you building a team, and why don't you just sell real estate yourself and just keep more of the money as a percentage on your own?
There's really a series of reasons, Frank. I think one of the primary reasons is, I'm a single dad and I do have my kids, and I also wanted to have some quality of life and some time with them. I've been guilty of being, a hustler where I would just be working all the time, putting in 16, 18-hour days sometimes just because I love what I do. And it was detracting from my time with my kids. And that's something that I wasn't prepared to do long-term. So I had to scale up. I had to bring people around me to help create leverage and opportunity so I'd be able to have that quality of life and that time with the kids. That's one piece. But that's one of the biggest pieces because, they're kids, time goes by and you can't get that time back. So I needed to be able to buy that time back, and I did that through leverage.
Okay, good. So let's start the story there.
Okay.
So you're at a point where it's pretty much all you, where everyone is.
Yeah.
What did you do, and what was the mindset shift to saying, you know what, I need to invest in 2 systems to get me to where I want to go. I have to figure out marketing because it can't be 100% me prospecting all the time.
Right. And
I have to figure out some hiring. Tell me about when that was and what point you were at when you're like, you know what, I got to start writing some checks.
So I had come into the business from another industry before. I owned another company, and I understood leverage and the need to have people around me. So right from day one, I knew that I wasn't going to be an island and I wasn't going to do it all myself. So within the first 6 months, I had a part-time assistant. I was trying to figure out really what she was going to do. I wasn't in coaching of any sort. I really didn't really know what the heck to do. But I knew I needed somebody. So I had her there, and we were really flying by the seat of our pants, trying to figure it out, having her try to work files and all sorts of stuff. It was a huge mess, but I knew at least that I needed the help. And that was the first step. And it was failing forward and learning and adapting and going to conferences and talking to people like you, Frank, and bringing on other important partners that were guiding me in the right direction in terms of do this and leverage this way. Yeah.
So you hired an assistant, the first thing, right? And at what point of your business, when was this? Because you've been selling since 2009. When did you decide to hire an assistant? You still there? Am I muted?
The audio is running again.
Uh-oh. That's all right. Hang on. Let me try to reset my microphone. How's this? Might be my headset. Is it? Is it still bad? Hang in there. We're going to bring in the big guns. Let's try this thing.
Yeah, I'm hearing us.
How's that? Is that any better? Testing 1 2.
It's good. It's just replaying our audio back.
Oh, it's because you have YouTube open. Do you have YouTube open on your computer? You're hearing the reverb?
There we go. Look at you, the master.
Was it YouTube?
Yeah, we don't need the big guns. Yeah, we just need you to click an X. Got it.
All right, hang on. Let me go back. Yeah, so what Randy has there is if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a slight delay. So he was hearing us talk because he had the YouTube video open versus what he was hearing me on the interview. All right.
Thing. Okay,
cool. No worries at all. So let's get back to where we were. So tell me the point where you needed to hire an assistant. Where were you in your business?
So right from the very beginning, I realized I needed somebody. I did bring on somebody right from the onset, super part-time, somebody who I was referred to from one of my friends. Really didn't understand the hiring process, didn't really understand what to look for, except for the fact she was nice, she needed a job, it lined up financially, so I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. So that was right from the beginning. Yeah, that was probably maybe 4 to 5 months in. And, a lot of that was flying by the seat of my pants, figuring it out, failing forward, really trying to figure out, what kind of stuff could she do to help me. I knew we had to do marketing. We would do mailers and stuff like that. And I'd come up with the content, she'd mail it out. And, we had like a 1-2 punch like that, but it was really all over the place. I really didn't know what to do. I was just trying to do a whole lot of things just based on my experience before in marketing and ways that I knew to touch people, and connect with people and bring value and trying to figure it out as best I could. But I was so green, so new that there were so many mistakes, but I'm grateful for all of those because I learned and I always fail forward. It's important.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So let's get to the point where you had to start hiring some marketing help. So what's the order? So you hired an assistant, then what?
Mm-hmm. So I had her first. Normally it would probably be a TC, just an outsourced TC. In this case, I had her in that role, and then I brought on a TC to supplement her. So I had a TC as well.
So a transaction coordinator handling
right. Transaction coordinator was helping with all the files and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I still had my assistant at the time. In a part-time capacity, helping with the mailers and stuff like that, database maintenance and calling some clients and some stuff. Again, things that I would not replicate. There's all certain elements of that I wouldn't have her do again or have any assistant do. But at that time, that's all I had. So I was trying to figure it out. Once we went from there and we started doing a little bit more business, this went on like that for about a year and a half. And that was during the fun years of 2009, 2010. So great time to get into the business, right? Yeah. So, right. So I learned quite a bit, and then we added a buyer's agent, who was in that traditional role as a buyer's agent, wasn't working listings, was just working buyers, and I was basically working the listings myself. I had my assistant who was helping with the marketing endeavors and all that kind of stuff, database maintenance, TC still, and then the buyer's agent, and that went on that way for quite some time, years. Sometimes the buyer's agent would change. They would either go off to do something else or for whatever reason we would part ways. But that was something that went on in that particular model for a really long time, for about, I'd say 4 to 5 years, just with that particular model with no other pieces of the puzzle.
Okay. So then what? You decided, okay, well, this transaction assistant, full-time assistant, you have a buyer's agent, you're doing all the listings. What trip to say you got to go to the next level?
So, the truth of the matter is, I think that it's mindset. And I think that I've got an uncanny ability to be able to say, you know what, I'm okay doing this. I believe that, we're going to build it and then it's going to come. And I'm not afraid to do it. I'm a risk taker, and I'm not afraid to say, okay, let's build this really massive enterprise, first in vision and then in practice. So I started surrounding myself with like-minded people that were doing the same things, and masterminding with people that were doing things at a really, really high level, like our friend Kyle. Like, there's a lot of people that I mastermind with that are doing things at such a high level that it expanded my thinking, and it made me realize, like, you know what, this is possible, or this is a role maybe I should consider. And I think
so. It was just thinking.
I think thinking was, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The thinking made all the difference, because I didn't have the awareness before. When I was sitting there in my cubicle back in the day with my one assistant, I never thought, yeah, I need to have a director of admin one day. I need to have a director of marketing. I need to bring on a company like Viral to help with our marketing endeavors. I didn't think that way. I didn't understand it. The price and the cost of all that stuff, made me nervous, all these kinds of things. Now I'm aware of it, and now I'm able to calculate ROI and things like that are able to really help me not only feel more comfortable and make the moves, because like I said, I'm a risk taker, but even just have that awareness and that thought process to say, you know what, now it's go time. We're going to do it, whatever it takes. We're not going to fail. If we do fail, we'll fail forward, and we're going to continue to build and grow and expand. And I'm going to use the feedback and motivation and example of the people that I'm around in order to give me those ideas and help me expand much larger than my local market. Because my local market, it's great. There's a lot of really great producers here that do a lot of volume, and much larger volume than we do.
Everyone knows you're in Los Angeles.
Right.
Very competitive.
Right. Super, super competitive, right? And obviously there are some producers here that are doing massive numbers. But what I'm trying to do, and not trying, what I'm committed to doing, what I'm practicing, is I'm surrounding myself with people outside my local market that are doing things at astronomically large volumes, doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions, and understanding how are they doing that, reverse engineering that, and saying, well, shoot, if I want to get to that point, I'm going to need these kinds of pieces. And how do I do that? And having the conversations, and like you said, the mindset to say, you know what, I am going to do this.
So let's talk about the pieces now. So you just decided, like, I could do this, and I'm around some people, and like, why can't I achieve some of the greater success than where you were at that point? So you had to sit down and you had to create this action plan of like, okay, you're the listing guy, and everything else is kind of leveraged out.
Yeah.
What did you know? Tell me the steps to what's next. What did you do next?
Okay, so we had one buyer's agent, then we expanded to two. And then, everybody was saying to me, wait, do you have enough business to justify having two? And then I would get in my head, and I was asking myself, well, I don't know, do I have the business to justify? So then that actually stunted my growth temporarily, because I did have a mindset shutdown, thinking, you know what, I need to have more business in order to justify this scaling, right? And once I realized that I can teach my buyer's agents to fish and not just give them the fish, I realized that I didn't necessarily need to have that mindset. That limiting belief. I could scale up as long as I'm bringing infrastructure support, as long as I'm bringing coaching, support, leverage, all the things that they need in order to make them more money, but also to help make them enjoy their job more. We can continue to scale. So now I'm in a position now where I can have what I perceive to be an almost unlimited amount of sales partners, and I'll talk about that evolution as well, why I don't have buyer's agents anymore. But I can continue to scale in this way. Because I know that we're creating the value. I know we have the infrastructure. I know we have the lead flow.
Lead flow isn't reliably on you. You're putting the reliance on them somewhat. And you're
Absolutely.
Sharing it. It's not 100% you. It's shared.
Right. We have a minimum expectation in terms of open houses and certain things like that, so they can generate some of their own stuff. We give them a lot of opportunities to really work their sphere and bring their friends and family into the fold, getting to know us, getting to like us, and know that we're a trustworthy, good team that they can trust. We do all of those kinds of things so that they can procure their own opportunity in addition to the Zillow leads, the online leads, all the other things that we're spending a lot of money in order to procure on top of all of that. So instead of us leading off with us giving you leads like most teams do, we're leading off with all the extraneous, meaning all the stuff outside of that, the quality of life, the support, the growth opportunities, the camaraderie, all of that. And oh, by the way, we have a bunch of leads that we can also provide you, as long as you're going to maintain them and nurture them properly.
Great. So you knew you had to hire people and find the right people. And again, that's a whole other conversation then for today.
Yeah.
Let's go down the marketing path. You had to start writing some checks now for marketing and being smart.
Yeah.
There's lots of things you could do with marketing. So tell me what you started to do, and tell me how viral worked into the process of, I needed to start investing in marketing now to get to the level I want to go, and why.
Okay. So over the course of the last 3 years, I made a lot of fundamental shifts in my business. I changed brokerages, which was a significant change for me. I wasn't going to do that, and I decided it was time. I made a change, and it ended up being a very good move for me. I made that adjustment. Once I made that adjustment, all the pieces started falling into place in terms of other people showing up. So I started hiring other people in buyer's agents roles. So I had Garrett Eberly. He's our main guy now in terms of, he's the one who's been with me the longest. He's the one who was really taking care of even the more troublesome situations. My right-hand guy on the sales side. We brought him on, and a couple others. And then we started scaling from there. And I think that at that point, we were starting to look at other things. And excuse me. And at that point, I also was, when I was getting exposure to the other people I was talking about, the people I was referencing, the ones that were expansive thinkers, right? The thought leaders in my life, my closest inner circle, because you're the average of the people you spend most time with, right? So I was with those people that were helping me expand. And once I was doing that, that's when I heard about viral. That's when I plugged into viral. And I thought, you know what? I understand that that's an additional expense, but it's not an expense. It's an investment. And once I was able to get my arms around that and understand the inherent value that you guys brought and other solutions as well, I was able to really get behind it and feel good about it every month. So it's not a consideration now. Now it's something where I just have to think, okay, how do I leverage it better? How do I show up better? How do I bring more quality content? Because I know the value's there on your end. And on the other,
you're a successful person. That's how successful people think, man. That was good.
Thanks, bud.
No, just from you saying that. That's
I mean,
what you just said there should be and we're going to talk about, because you wanted to come to this today in your write-up before we did this in the research, like how you can take your videos next level. So stay tuned. We're going to go into that. So you knew you had to work the database. Now, why? Let's talk about database now. So we talked about the marketing. Why viral over other things you can send your list? And why the extra effort and money to do this as opposed to all the other options available to you to like stay in touch with a list of people?
Couple things, really. Number one, it was endorsed by one of my close friends, which does matter to me. I do go to my inner circle, my advisors, if you will, my colleagues that I trust that are doing equal, if not more volume than I do. That was part of it. But then also, I know that video is where we're at. It's not where we're going, it's where we are. And I know I need to leverage it better. So because of that, I knew that I needed to do things consistently, and I knew that I needed to do things high level, because I don't want to ever represent my brand in a shaky, okay capacity. And I also don't want to get busy and get caught up in something else and not be consistent. Because for me, consistency was absolutely a problem, because I'm a driver. And with that, I have a lot of different ideas. I have a lot of things that I want to get done now. And next thing you know, I'm chasing all these squirrels and I get nothing done. You know, my office staff will attest to this. I am all over the place sometimes. So now I have to time block and I have to make sure that I have everything scheduled. Otherwise, I won't get anything done. So viral was a big part for me because it was scheduled, it was systematic, and it gave me time to prep my mind and say, okay, this is how I want to show up. Like I liked last month's content, but I think I can do better. And then I would talk to my guy Reese over there and say, hey, you know what, let's talk about this, or maybe we should change up the backdrop, or what do you think? And then he would bounce ideas back. And I think that's important. You always have to be pursuing that constant and never-ending improvement. And I think that is really where I'm at right now, constantly trying to evolve how I show up, and you know, just how I bring value, make sure that it's valuable, and it's not just me talking for 15 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever. It's actually something people care about. Make sense?
So it makes complete sense. So in the context of scaling a team, why are you doing this?
Why am I doing video as a part of why viral?
Why is this a pillar?
Well, because you have to connect with your database, and you do have to really make sure that your database remembers you, you're top of mind, and that you're bringing value to the people that already know, like, and trust you. I think it's really important. Also for my team, you know, I've got a lot of younger people on my team who are newer to the business. You know, I recruited a lot of people from outside the industry, and because of that, you know, I wanted to make sure that, I still want to make sure that they get a lot of awareness of video is very important, and they get some FaceTime, and they get some ability to connect with their database. So video is very, very, very important to us.
So you're bringing your team members into your videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us about that, and then let's go down that path a little bit. So
yeah,
you're bringing your team members into your videos, and you call them sales partners, and not like a listing or buyer agent. Let's talk about how you treat them, and how you treat your team is maybe a little bit different than maybe traditional people do it, is what I'm hearing.
Sure. Well, the sales partner concept, I actually borrowed from one of my good friends, Treasure, and she used that analogy. I took that upon myself. I remember we were at a conference a couple of years ago, and I took that and I digested it, and I talked to my buyer's agents at the time about it. And I thought, you know what? They are sales partners. They're not buyer's agents. They don't work for me. They work with me. You know, there might not be equal partners in terms of, you know, we all split the expenses and all the upside and everything else, but they are partners in this. So I thought that it was really important to change that title, because the title, even though it's just a title, sometimes it's more than that. And it's a psychological connection to the team. And I don't want anybody to ever feel that they are under me, or that, you know, somehow I'm the boss and that they are working for me. I want them to feel like they are working with me, and we are working together for a common goal of serving more people, bringing more value, and helping each other make a great living and having a good experience along the way.
Great. And then you bring them into your videos. How do you do that?
So we're still refining exactly how we're going to do it to make it optimal. But basically, I'm trying to make it so that people who already know me get to know Shannon, or they get to know Stan, or they get to know Andrew or Garrett or whatever. You know, I want to make sure that they get to know them, and I connect the dots. So I'm able to endorse them, but also really showcase them. So I already hopefully have the likability of my database, people who know me, but I want them to also know them, because if Shannon, for example, is going to be working somebody that I'm close with, like if she's going to be working with them on the purchase side and I'm going to be working with them on the listing side, I want to make sure that they know that Shannon is someone that I trust. Obviously, I'm connecting the dots, so there's some trust there, but I want them to really know her already, at least visually, and in terms of her mannerisms and the way that she conducts herself. You know, and I think that that's important, because I don't want people to ever feel like I'm just blindly passing their business somewhere. I want them to feel like it's really just a bigger part of the equation. So we're all working together to service their needs, and it's not that, you know, I'm too good to help a buyer, or she's too good to, you know, or not able to do a listing or anything like that, but rather it's just we're all trying to stay in various lanes to try to serve the client at the highest level. And like I was saying, like because of the sales partner analogy, they're not all just working the buyers. I mean, she might be working the listing side, and maybe I'd be stepping in and helping with the buyer side. You know, on the sales partner philosophy, it's that they're agents, whole agents, meaning, you know, they do every aspect of the business, and we support them accordingly. So we're not ever pigeonholing them and saying, you know what, you're just going to do buyers. We don't ever want to stunt their growth or put a ceiling on their potential. We want to say, okay, if you want to go find listings, find listings. You want to go help buyers, help buyers. You know, let's figure out whatever's going to serve you, and let's figure out who you are as an agent. Are you at a 30% buyer split? You know, like, are you 30% buyer, 70% listing? Is that where you reside after all things are said over the course of a year? Like, who are you? And then we can really figure out how to reverse engineer more success out of that and lean into the success and minimize the downside.
Great. All right. Moving on.
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about the viral marketing plan within the context of scaling your team.
Okay.
When you first started with this, we reconnected with your existing database. So you exported everyone that you had. We sent out a reconnect email and kind of filtered out who's interested in you.
Yeah.
Then you make a commitment to ask for email addresses, and then you shoot your videos and you follow up with the people that are watching them. So let's start with, what are we doing to grow your database? What are you doing to grow your list and to empower your agents to remind them and get them to grow their list too?
So are we talking about growing the overall
permission-based
email list?
Yeah. Like,
so
how are we getting permission from people to say, yes, I want to receive your videos, and getting the right people in your database so you nurture them?
I think a lot of that is future pacing. So when we're meeting people, we're letting them know that, hey, you know, we'll stay in contact with you. We're going to continue to bring value to you, hopefully, and we want your feedback. So keep an eye out for this, this, and this. You know, a couple times a month, you'll be getting a video from us, which will explain a couple different things about the market or things that we hope are of interest. And please, you know, let us know your feedback, because we want to make this for you. You know, it's not for us, it's for you. So if there's something you'd like different or something you would like in addition to, let us know. So I think that future pacing helps so that they know that it's going to appear, as opposed to they just go to their inbox one day and there's something from Randy Plaice and Associates and they're like, well, what is this? And then they mark it spam.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's important. You set the expectation.
Saying, hey, I want to send you this helpful information.
Yeah.
What's your best email address?
And not salesy, not saying, hey, we're going to send you this stuff that's going to really help you make your sales decision. It's just saying, hey, we have information we put out that we know helps our valued clients. We'd like you to be our valued client at one point. So we'll send it to you anyway, and we'll make sure that you are a part of that opportunity. So we frame it that way, you know, that it really is an opportunity for you to get some sort of value. So kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk's analogy of jab, 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 right hook. You know, we're giving away the content. We're giving away the value because we think it's important.
How many people a week would you say that you're adding to your database, and how?
Per week, it averages. I mean, of course, it averages at. It really depends. If we're doing Facebook ads surrounding new listings and things like that, we get a spike. Couple hundred. I'd say a couple hundred. If we have a busy week, a couple hundred.
100 a week. So you do it online. A lot of online registrations.
A lot. Yeah, tons. I mean, open houses, very few, way less than that. Open house, couple dozen per open, but we're doing 4 to 5 opens per weekend. So that adds to it as well. But yeah, online stuff, between our Zillow stuff, we have Realtor, we have a bunch of different sources. We definitely have quite a few, and then we do leverage Facebook ads to pick up a lot of opportunity as well. People who are inquiring about a property, they want to find out more, they go through our registration page. So we get a lot of leads that way when we do the boost.
Nice. So people register on your page to search for houses when you boost the house.
Right. Either they want to find out more about the house, they want to see more pictures of the house, find out current pricing, or whatever the case may be. They come through that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into your videos.
Sure.
Because this is really what I wanted to cover, is you really want to step that up.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me what's working well? Be honest.
What's 100%.
Well, and what do you hate? What do you not like? So start with what's working well with the videos and the content, and tell me what you're not happy about and what you don't like.
Okay. So what's working well, it's consistent. I like that. I mean, obviously this is a basic fundamental thing, but you know, it's consistent, which is important. The quality is good. I like the intro. I like the outro. I like what you guys are doing on the editing side. I think that's really powerful. It makes our brand look the way that I want it to. It positions us well. The content I think is good. I think we're really doing a good job at creating fresh content. Usually I do it relatively on the fly because I don't want it to be too robotic. So, you know, Reese will connect with me, and then I'll say, you know, he'll say, hey, well, let's talk about this or this. And I'll say, okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's fine. And instead of me having a couple days to review, usually I'll just improv and I'll just go because I know the business. It's what I do all day long. And I just want to be real. I just want to be me. So I think that part's really good. The part that I think is not so good, and where I think that there's an opportunity to try to figure out, is I think it's a little bit redundant in terms of the backdrop. It's the same. So if you were to look at video after video after video, now that we've been doing it for so long, you'll get lost because it looks like it's the same thing. Like maybe it's me with facial hair. Maybe it's me, not facial hair. Maybe it's me, different suit, whatever the case may be. But usually same wall, same general look. So I think the backdrop really, really matters. I think we need to do some more stuff on location to freshen it up, because I think it's getting a little stale in that regard. And also I think it's important that I bring other people in, like my team members and stuff. So it's not just me, because if it is just me, I think also it starts to just feel like more of the same. Even though I try to make it interesting and I try not to be robotic and just talk about interest rates and this and that, I'm really trying to bring something of value that's a little bit different than what most agents are doing. I think it still can sound a little bit redundant and a little bit weak. And especially since it's twice a month, we got to really make sure that we're creating something that's really going to grab their attention and something that's going to be interesting month after month after month, because this is a long game. It's not the short game. If we're doing 2 more videos, I don't care. I'll just do the best job I can. But we're going to do this over the course of the next 10, 20, 30 years. We need this to be done right. We need to have diversification and interest. We need to make sure that we're getting more engagement, more people asking questions and plugging in and adding us and liking us versus people who are leaving. And that's my concern. I feel like it's starting to get redundant and it's starting to make me nervous.
Cool. We're going to fix that.
Okay.
You're going to fix you making nervous. We're going to take it to the next level to make this very interesting. I was pulling a couple things up while you were talking there.
All right.
So here's the big theme where we're going to shift to the next level for your videos.
Okay.
So for those of you watching that don't really know what we teach at Viral to Start is we recommend we get you in front of a webcam like this. And you just sit in front of the webcam and you talk into the webcam to create 2 quick educational videos a month, usually answering some type of question and to just deliver some simple expertise. And it's fast, it's easy, it's effective. People get to know you. And there's nothing wrong like me just talking right to you right now on a camera. This is fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to step it up a bit because maybe the background of your home office or the background isn't, you just want to make it better because that's who you are.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So let's talk about a couple of things we could do to make things better. I'm going to kind of take you through a little progression of complexity.
Okay.
All right?
Let's do it.
So the first one is, I don't know if this is necessarily the best example to use. There's a lot of self-coaches and speakers in this space. There's a individual named Ty Lopez I'm going to use. You heard of Ty Lopez?
Yeah, I know.
All right.
A book a day.
A book a day in his 67 steps. Well, this guy, let's share my screen real quick, basically bought all the ad spend available on Facebook for a while and made a bunch of money in views. But if you take a look at his videos, one of the ways to find out what really works well is by going to someone's channel and clicking most popular. And check this out. And what you'll notice in a lot of his videos is he does a lot of selfie videos where it's like him out and about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where he just busts open his phone and it's these backgrounds. It's almost like voyeuristic in a way. And he's always moving the camera.
Yeah.
So one of the easiest things you can do is, let me give you what's probably a good example. Where's his famous one? 67 million views. Now you probably can't hear this, but just notice how he's holding this camera up and he's talking, and then he's always moving where like the camera now will shift over to probably his bookshelf and the camera will shift over here. And just by having someone hold a camera and camera movement, just that of alone makes things more interesting. That's all you have to know.
Okay.
So if you can go out and hold the camera yourself, or you have someone hold the camera, and instead of doing a static shot where it's just the camera is not moving, you want to try to get the camera to move. That's it. If you watch any movie, any professional video, the camera is usually on some type of slider. It's zooming in, it's zooming out. Camera movement is what we're used to, but if you're not trained to look for it, you don't recognize it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one of my challenges to you is, how can you just shoot the video in a way where I don't care where you are, but just move? Hey, I want to share this tip with you, and and this, and maybe you're just walking around and you're just kind of like talking to the person. That's it. And the background's irrelevant. It just makes it more interesting. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I could definitely do that. One of the things we were doing supplementally with Viral is we were doing things like on our iPhones and stuff. I always buy the newest iPhone, so at least the quality of the camera is as high as it can be in that capacity.
Yes.
But I am also caught up on the fact that I want it to be a certain way. I do want it to be high quality. I do want it to be, and I know that there's a trade-off, right? I know that sometimes with high quality comes, it being really polished, really professional, really nice, but then not as organic, not as real, not as engaging possibly, because it's not as relatable, because it's too canned, right? So I'm trying to find that balance. So I've been a little bit reluctant to do that with the Viral stuff, only because I didn't want the quality to deplete, and I wanted it to maintain that integrity.
I know it is. So we're going to talk about this. So we have to understand there's a big difference of you being yourself.
Yeah.
You just talking and you being yourself is 80% of it.
Yeah.
Looking at the camera and just being yourself. So the background, I could show you videos of Tony Robbins for 45 minutes that has millions of views, and his background's like a black wall.
Right.
Because it's him. Right?
Yeah.
So just being yourself and talking is 80% of the battle. It really is. Just bringing some energy and enthusiasm and being exciting. Okay.
Yep.
But how do we make it visually more interesting? So the first thing is, how can we get the camera background to move? Okay. Well, no, actually, let's step back.
Okay.
How can we make sure we actually have good video footage and sound in the first place?
Okay.
So 80% is you. Step one, energy, have a story to tell, have something interesting. And we're going to talk about how to get some story ideas here in a minute. Number two is making sure you have good camera equipment and audio. Now, you have the iPhone 7. That is a beautiful world-class camera.
Yep.
You could shoot movies on it. All right.
Now,
I know you sound like you're kind of a video geek like me. Something you may want to pick up. This is called Filmic. So instead of using the camera app on your phone, you can download the Filmic app, and it will add the filters and make things look a lot more cinematic.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So it's called Filmic Pro. You have to know how to use a camera a little bit, but you should see some of the videos this will put out in the iPhone 7, and it is absolutely movie quality.
Awesome. Cool.
As far as like picture quality is concerned. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what do you do for your audio when you're recording on your phone? Because we're moving away from the webcam because I do want you out and about for a different background.
Yes.
Okay.
So what we're doing right now, we're using my AirPods. So I'm using that. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in an area where I don't have a lot of wind. I don't have a lot of distraction. I don't have a boom mic at this point, but that's what I've been using. AirPods is how I've been doing the audio in that part.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to get. The earpods, when you use those, it's going to be difficult with the sometimes there's a delay in the video of the audio and video sync, and you have the Bluetooth issues. A simple mic that goes onto your phone like this from Rode is a wonderful way. It'll pick up the sound right in front of you, look and sound fantastic. And that way you can still, if you want to, selfie your stuff with really good audio with that little microphone.
That's awesome.
Is that cool?
Yeah, it is.
So Filmic Pro app, if you want to get a little more advanced color grading and making the video look the way that you want, and that for the audio, your video will look and sound fantastic with this equipment, and it's not very expensive. And this is probably what I would recommend when you're graduating just from the webcam. All right. So we talked about the sound and the video equipment, right? So now when you're out and about and you're shooting your videos, either selfie it or somebody else, just try to get the camera moving. And I'm not so much concerned if it's stable or not. It could be shaky and no one really cares. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to get a gimbal or something like that to help stabilize.
The next step. Yep. So let's show the audience what that is. All right.
Okay.
So DJI is a company.
Yeah, I was going to get the Osmo, I think is the one.
DJI Osmo. So let's take a look here, guys. So DJI is a company that makes some really nice video equipment. And the gimbal is basically a stabilizer. I don't think you need this one. You want the gimbal mobile. This one's all you need. So what you do is you take your phone, you have your video mic on it, right, that I showed you, and you put your phone on this thing, and what it does is it dramatically stabilizes the footage so there's no shaking. It gives you a very cinematic, smooth shot effect. And it's not very expensive. I mean, all of this, less the camera, is like $500 all in, if that.
Yeah.
See,
that's awesome.
Here's the shaky footage. Here's the smooth footage.
Yep.
So when you have this as this camera in your pocket, you have the ability to create great looking, great sounding, very stable footage, right? So what can you do with that with regard to content? Well, we mentioned your friend Kyle Whistle, right?
Yep.
Kyle works with us here at Viral, and he sells a lot of real estate. I don't know what he sold last year, but this is his team. And what he does, he gets in front of a video camera. He's on a green screen here. I can see the green reflection on his face a little bit, actually, so that's what you can tell. But this is how he shoots his educational videos. Nothing wrong with this. But I actually prefer the videos where it's out and about, like sharing stuff, as opposed to on a green screen. Case in point, what he does is in San Diego, you have an area, like inland San Diego is called East County, right? And he goes out to all of these restaurants and like interviews people. And you can't see this, but his video guy literally made this, and this is a stabilizer. See how stable the footage is?
Yep.
Out and about, just talking about the area. Let's go look at this restaurant. Let's go look at that restaurant. And he almost like created like one of his own, like video shows at HGTV of him going out and like, showing stuff in the area and featuring it. How crazy is this?
No, it's huge. Right? It's a great show.
Insane. Yeah, it's like literally a show. It's like something you'd watch on TV, isn't it?
Yeah, he's done great with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the deal. He spent a lot of money on video equipment to pull this off, and he has an extremely talented full-time video guy to help pull this off. And he's leveraged enough in his business that he could spend the inordinate amount of time it takes to put something like that together.
Yes. Probably
not quite there yet, Randy. Right?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah. Like I told you, I'm not afraid, Frank.
All right, you're ready.
I'm not afraid. Yeah, okay. I'm not afraid. I was talking to our director of marketing about that, and I was talking to Kyle about that too, because I am 100% thinking.
You are ready.
Yeah, well, number one, I'm ready for sure, but I'm trying to really figure out how that's going to work in our local space. But 100%, I'm ready to go, and it'll be done.
So here's what we're gonna
at the end of the quarter.
Right, this is what we're gonna do.
Yep.
So what I would recommend is that Osmo Mobile, the iPhone, and the Rode mic is literally use that, and the marginal difference you're going to get with much more expensive stuff is not going to be much just using that camera. So you're going to need somebody to hold the camera and shoot.
Yep.
Right? You're going to need that.
Yep. Fine.
You're also going to need somebody to storyboard and to put together the story.
Yep.
You just can't show up and just take a bunch of random shots and just kind of wing it. You really do need to plan the shoot. So here's something I'm going to challenge you to do that I think our audience, and something I talked to a client earlier today about, you might want to do.
Okay.
You need like a documentary journalist.
Okay.
Hire. If we wrote a job ad, and it would go something like this: local LA real estate agent seeks journalist for 2 real estate stories for my publication month, something like that. They'd say, hey, this is Randy. I'm a real estate agent. I have this publication called LA Real Estate Video Blog, and I'm looking to hire a journalist who can help me come up with 2 stories a month to cover something going on about the community and real estate.
Yeah.
Anything. I really don't care. Here's some examples of Kyle. Here's some examples of this person I like. Here's some examples of this person I like. Your job will be able to get the story, format the story, put together the storyboard, and kind of figure out really what I have to say. And I want someone who's a video journalist. So looking for a video journalist who actually put together the shots of how to tell it with video, you know? And you're in LA. This is going to be very easy for you to find.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
And I would offer about $100 a story, which is about par, man. You don't really have to pay much.
Yep.
You know, if you go find the story, you go find out what we're going to cover, you storyboard it, you write it together, you kind of give me a general script, then you kind of put together what the shot should be. I'll give you the video equipment. Let's go out. You could probably knock it out in an hour, if that.
Yep.
But if you want, they don't have to have the video editing skills. We could take care of the video editing to put it together.
Yep.
But then again, if this is a video journalist, they're going to want the satisfaction of doing their own edits.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, this is awesome.
So this Friday, I will be publishing in my newsletter under my CEO message the job ad for that.
Fantastic.
So I recommend you put that on Indeed.com. Put like $5 a day into it or something for a month. I recommend you put it on Craigslist under video jobs gigs. Okay. And I would also post it, I don't know, maybe for you like on USC or something, like film school, or like, you know, on a college job board.
Sure.
You know?
Yep.
And just hire them on contract. And here's how easy the hiring is, man. Someone calls you up. Hey, I'm interested in this. Great. Go get me a story.
Yep.
That's the job interview.
Trial by fire. I like it.
Yeah. Go get me a story. And they should come up. Hey, I got this video. Here's this thing. Here's what I want to do. Here's my ideas for it. Here's kind of the script I put together. Here's the brief. You know, this is what journalists do, man. Like they wake up at 8 a.m. and they're like, we got to come with a newscast. And they pull it off by the end of the day.
I dig it.
It's incredible, really.
Yep.
Okay.
I love the idea. Yeah. I took a whole bucket full of notes already. That's awesome.
Yeah, because the biggest challenge is going to be like, you know, the creative mental space to put that together.
Yeah.
And you could find a journalist to put that together and then they can shoot it. Now, another option, you don't have to necessarily go out and shoot it yourself because that is very time intensive. So here's maybe what you could tell the journalist. You could say, look, I want you to go out and get a bunch of B-roll shots, like just shots of video, go get pictures and bring it back with the fully written story and come back with all the assets. And then you do a voiceover.
Yeah.
And you never have to even go out there.
Yeah.
And then maybe you just record a little video introducing it, and then you cut to the piece, which is exactly, by the way, if you watch the news tonight, you know, Lester Holt's going to go, and now we're going to go to Miguel and whatever. Thank you, Lester, blah, 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 blah. Watch this.
Yep.
Cuts the piece.
Yep.
Back to him and back to the person.
Yep. Awesome.
So that job ad I'll have written for my Friday message that goes out to all the clients and everyone on my list.
Yep.
That's what I think. I think that's the next step. I've had quite a few more people asking me about this, but it's not the video equipment that holds people back. Like I don't have the video equipment. It's the creative labor, the emotional investment. They need someone to help put together the story.
Sure. I love all that. I think the voiceover is a great optional, you know, slant on things. I think that it would deplete a little bit from me getting more awareness in terms of me as a personal brand, right? So I'd want to be out there Obviously, I'm not positioning it
this
as
this is who you are. Some people listen to this and they're freaking out. Like, it'd be crazy to do that. But yeah, you just like the challenge of getting this good, and I love it. I feel it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I'm committed to winning. You have no idea, Frank. I'm committed to winning by any means necessary. Done.
So what's the next thing that you need to do to be able to pull off something like this? Like, what's the vision for creating better videos to build a brand that supports your team? What do you got to do?
Next step is I need to take immediate action on everything we just talked about. So Filmic, the video mic, me, the DJI Osmo, all of that's being ordered today. I'm not a kind of guy that's going to sit back and not think about it.
That's literally for your situation, the equipment I recommend.
Yeah, and you can't sit and think about things for a while. You just need to execute. So I'm going to execute today. I'm going to get those things ordered through Amazon, get them done, get them sent. Once they arrive, I'm going to start immediately taking action. And then at that point, we'll just continue to evolve and grow as we grow. But we gotta take action now.
All right, let me give you one more action step.
Yeah.
I need you to go give examples for the journalist to model.
Okay.
So when you hire this person, you say, I'm looking for something like this. So why don't you go online and maybe put together like a little document of like, I really like that, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. Here's what I'm looking for.
In terms of reverse engineering, like East County Eats, like Kyle's piece or something like that. Like, these are the elements that I like, and this is what I'd like to replicate.
Yeah, like it's funny. There's a show on PBS I love is Frontline. I'm a huge Frontline fan. I think that show is amazing. I love the investigative journalism, and I show that as an example of like someday I want to tell a story of a client, like a Frontline piece. That'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So I would say come up with some examples, because when you get the inquiries from these people that can help you write the stories, they're going to go, what are you trying? Give me a vision here. What are you trying to go for?
Yeah.
And is that me? I have like all these songs going on.
Yeah, that's you, bud.
Hang on. Problem solved.
Cool.
That's how we're going to step it up. All right.
Okay.
What other challenges do you have that you want to get better at with this? When it comes to, you have to scale your team, you're building your brand and get better at viral marketing.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head just a couple seconds ago, how you were saying that some people are afraid to put themselves out there. They'd rather do the voiceover because they don't want to be in front of the camera. I also have that same issue with some of my team members. They're new to it. They haven't really been in front of cameras, especially live, like Facebook Live or something like that. They might be a little bit nervous and a little bit tentative. So I've just been, like I said before, trial by fire, just saying, just get out there and just hammer through it. And you're going to slip, you're going to fall, and you're going to bumble your words, and you're just going to have to get better and feel more confident. The more you do it, the better you'll feel, and the more that you'll be able to resonate that confidence. I think that's what you got to do. So that's my challenge, just getting them out there and getting them to believe in it.
Here's what I would do, exactly what we did with you to start. So we started by giving you a webcam. Let me show the audience really quick what we recommend for all of our clients, because we're going advanced, obviously, on the type of content you want to create.
Yeah.
Right. And there's also going to be a sense of fulfillment and joy and excitement from doing it. I can see the creative side in you coming out already.
Yeah. Can't wait.
We're alike in many ways.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen here. All right. So this is the equipment we start with. So before you get your iPhone, before you get this app, and before you get this, you're going out and moving the camera and all this other stuff, we just say, look, keep it simple. Get the Logitech C920, great webcam, about $60. And then we recommend a microphone. However, for most of our clients, it just seems like no one has a computer that's strong enough, and everyone has a computer from like 10 years ago. If you use this camera and you get like a microphone that plugs into the computer, a lot of times the computer can't keep up, and you have what it's called an audio and video sync problem, where the audio doesn't match the video.
Yeah.
So what we recommend, and this is kind of a cool thing I'll share with you, is you just put on this lav mic and plug it into this recorder. So you press record on this, that records the MP3, and then you record your video, and then you send into us the MP3 from this, and you send us the video file, and then we match them in editing. We drop the audio from the video file and put that audio in there.
That's cool.
Right? Yeah. So that's what we do for our clients to start. And this is actually what I would probably recommend for your team members, is you should buy them all webcams from the computers. Here's a little gift, $60. Here's a webcam. And then once a month, I am going to interview you on a webcam, just like we interviewed you.
Yep.
To create like a quick little educational video piece, or tell a story about a client they helped, or do a little Q&A video they could put up on their Facebook. Maybe not the whole email thing. Maybe you could put it up on your blog under a section for them, and they can just say post on their Facebook. They get them comfortable.
Yep.
So I think you becoming like a viral marketing coach
for
your own team to get them comfortable on video with an interview, get them comfortable in front of the webcam to speak, and then upgrade them to the next steps, which is what would really help them.
Well, I went a step ahead of that already, just because I figured, you know what, it's game time now. We're not going to wait around. We're not going to take a year to scale up and feel comfortable and get all, you know, feel good about this. We're going to get ready soon. So we've been doing Facebook Lives. So we've been having them do Facebook Live. Yeah, it does it real quick, right? So at their open houses, they've been doing Facebook Lives by themselves, and then we've been, as a team, we've been going after the fact and saying, hey, the camera's too shaky, like it's like the Blair Witch Project. Hey, calm that down. Or hey, you were talking about the property too much. You know, make it a little bit more about you and a little bit more engaging in addition to the property, stuff like that. So we've been giving them that feedback and that coaching, like you said already. But I think that that's a really good idea. In addition to that, so a nice piece, like you were saying, where it is just straight up about the market or whatever, and it's just them putting in front of their spheres. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Dude, that's cool, man. Like if you had your team member and you gave them like a Osmo Mobile video mic and said, use your phone and you're going live like every single week at one of your properties, you know, and then you review them on your weekly meetings, you would become like a marketing coach and a marketing advisor to your team. Yep. And that scales. That's huge. I love that.
And we do have a marketing director who, you know, Nikki has been going to the open houses and she's been helping. So she's been helping with the filming. She's been helping with some of the setup to make sure that the backdrop looks right. So she's been really helping with that as well. She's been really a big part of that whole thing and making sure we're capturing all these things. Like if we're doing community events, she'll be there and making sure that we're capturing all of that, making sure that there's an ample amount of video, because we've really pushed the fact that video is so important to us. So we have her sort of as an additional coach. So that's been helpful. But no, I think what you're saying is a great idea. I put tons of notes down here, so we'll make some adjustments.
Cool.
For sure.
I want to give you another tip. Yeah. Because I know what you're trying to do with your team, and it's about scaling your team. Yeah. You have to make sure that people buy into the team concept. We're not just marketing yourself all the time to your database.
Right. Totally.
Now, to start, a lot of the videos are you, and that's fine. You know, you can't bring them into the video. Maybe they're not comfortable doing it, whatever. It's really is, though, your videos to your list. But how can we quickly position the fact that you're a team? Now, when you record your videos, you know, we recommend you do a short little intro. It's like, hey, this is Randy. In this video, you're going to learn how to sell your home. You cut, and then this intro comes in of your logo with some music, and then you're back on, right?
Yep.
That's a very standard YouTube style to get someone engaged with your videos and get the branding. But right now, we just have a little fancy logo coming in with some music. And it's great for branding. But just like we're going to step up your videos, let's step up your animation at the beginning. So what I'm going to do here, and this is actually a good example. You know, Tom Ferry's a real estate coach in real estate. I'm going to show you guys something.
He is.
And I use him as an example. So this is a video that Tom Ferry uses. And again, this is basically him sitting arguably in front of a webcam at his desk, giving a tip, right? But notice how he's going to, you can't hear this because I can't share the sound, but he's just introducing the video, but then the animation comes in. So all this is B-roll. It's shots of him. This could be shots of your team, shots of people making calls, shots of open houses, shots of all these people on your team working together, helping in buyers or sellers. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then you come back on, and this is just a voiceover of you talking about your team and what you're all about and what you do. Yep. So I would love to put something together for you personally.
Oh, you're the best.
So if you go get me shots with your mobile, right? Nice, smooth, cool shots. Get some excitement. Get your team working, right? Give me about 10 seconds of stuff. And every shot is like what? 1, maybe 2 seconds. So give me like, 10 shots. Okay. Right? Yep. I'll let them together. Okay. Yep. And I'll write you a little script to use. And then I'll show you how to use a microphone like this to do a good voiceover. Yep. And then I'll have a cool little intro made for you with music. How does that sound?
I love it. Fantastic. It's perfect.
So that's a cool way to kind of brand your team and all your videos as you do that. And then if you lose like a team member, you don't want to use a shot or something, it's a very easy edit to go in and change out a shot going forward.
Yep. I love it. I love it. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we're almost done. Let's talk a little bit about, oh gosh, I want to talk about some of the fears that you're going through. Okay. Because I think anyone that's scaling up, I mean, you're taking on expenses, you're hiring people, you're giving up a lot of control. Yeah. What were some of the biggest fears that you had, taking on, again, these marketing expenses? Because I know, why don't we just go through, what are you spending your money on marketing? And then, so people have some idea, because I know you do some Zillow leads and whatnot. What are you spending your money on marketing with? And tell me the fears and the challenge you had to overcome to like actually start writing those checks, because you're making less in the moment. It's like, why am I working so hard? I'm making less, but hopefully that future income comes in more passively and not tied to your time. I want to talk about that fear. So first off, my first question is, what are you spending your money on for all of your marketing? Let's go through all of it. I'm curious.
Okay. So online, that was one of the ones that was really, really hard for me to get my head around. I was okay, scaling. Like I said, I've always been a go-getter, but like with Zillow, I was starting with, I don't know, it was like some crazy amount, like $400 or something. And I remember when I started doing that, that was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. That was the thing to me. And I was like, oh my, I mean, that's $400, that's $500. That's a car payment, for some people. It's like, wow, like that's a lot. And I was really mindful of it. And I didn't know how to do lead follow-up and all that stuff. So that was a real thing. And then I started again, like hanging around with all these other agents that are doing things at such a higher level that I realized, you know what, I could scale more and I could do more. So now my ad spend is way above that. It's roughly, it's around like 13 grand, 13, 14 grand. You got to look at the ROI, and you have to really, really be very careful with that. You have to really make sure that you're getting clarity on an ongoing basis in terms of cost per lead, your average conversion, and all that kind of stuff. You need to make sure you know your numbers. Your metrics are so important. And I think this is one of the things that helped me overcome the fears. So of course I had fears of having financial problems, or making missteps that were going to cost me and my family, cause me financial hardship or whatever. But the thing that I learned was that fear and that stress propelled me to get more educated and to treat my business more like a business. Like I know you referenced Tom and stuff, I watched some of his stuff too. And, a lot of that's about really treating your business like a business. And it's one of those things where you have to know your numbers. So, I look at my QuickBooks, I have my QuickBooks up and clear, and I know what my expenses are per vendor per month. I know what my P&L is. I know where I am with all that stuff. And it's so important.
Was that originally natural to you? Because for most people,
no.
So most people are scared to death to look at their bank balance.
Yeah.
And now you're looking at like financial statements.
Yeah. So I am not an analytical person at all, but I forced myself to become an analytical person, because if you're going to be a business person and run things at a high level and not operate from a place of scarcity, but rather abundance, you need to know what the hell you're doing. You need to know your business. And I know that. So I have to know that. So I've hired people to help me with QuickBooks in terms of putting the data together, pulling the data, assembling my spreadsheets. Every Monday I get my reports sent over to my printer remotely, so it's just here waiting for me, so I can just see it. And I know myself, I'm somewhat OCD. If there's something in my printer, I want to clear it out, so I grab it, I look at it, I review it, and then I trash it. It's my system, but it works. But that way I have my finger on the pulse of what I'm spending and where it is. And then supplementally to that, I'm looking every week before our sales meeting on Tuesday to see what kind of conversion we're getting, how many leads we're getting, where we're getting our leads, what are our most profitable lead sources, all that kind of stuff through Follow Up Boss is the backend CRM we're using. We're using Curator, but we're using that as our backend, which has been helpful in terms of us understanding what our stats are and that kind of stuff. So really understanding your stats and really understanding your spending on an ongoing weekly basis, not an every once in a while basis, has really made it so that I'm not freaked out. And I know that I can scale back, I can scale up, and it also allows us to make informed budgeting decisions and forecasting. So if we're going to have, an event, a client event, we can look and see what we spent last year or last event and make an informed decision versus just a gut reaction saying, oh, I feel comfortable spending $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000 or whatever. It's more like, well, last event we spent $6,532. We feel like it was a little bit overkill. Let's scale it back to $5,000. We're treating our business like a business. And that has made all the difference in the world. And that's allowed me to scale.
My last question for you. How did you learn how to think like this?
I think early on I was around, I didn't have the friends that I have now, which continue to help me think this way, and coaches and affiliates and friends like you guys. But I leaned into Brian Tracy. He was a mentor of mine. I love that guy. Guys like Tom Ferry and just all the guys that really have spoken to me in my respective industry, that's helped. And I'm a fervent reader. I read every day. I listen to audiobooks every day. I have a morning walk from 6 to 6:30. And part of that, I'm listening to audiobooks or podcasts to constantly give myself new ideas and new thoughts, conferences, stuff like that, to just constantly put myself in a position of growth and opportunity. That way I'm never in scarcity, but rather I'm in abundance, or at least most of the time.
That's most of the time. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect, right? Yeah.
That's good, man. Well, Randy, thank you so much. I think what you guys can take away is, Randy has taken full ownership to really master the concepts of building a database, including his team, creating great video content. We didn't get to the calling and the prioritizing because I wanted to focus on the actual video quality today, and scaling his team. And you're just driven to become very successful. I hope through this, you've taken away some of the behaviors and some of the ways of thinking and literally the no fear Randy has, like overcoming a lot of it, of doing this stuff.
Yeah.
He probably don't even really realize it, but like a lot of people are like, man, that's a pretty scary thought of scaling up and doing all this video stuff, but you're confident. And it's been from putting yourself around great people.
Yeah. And then falling, you fall off a bike enough times, you realize, it's not the end of the world. It's okay to fall down. Just learn how to not fall down so much, or learn from it and strengthen yourself. And that's it.
Randy, I should have this in front of me. Where's your video blog? What's the address?
randyplaice.com is the website.
That's where people can go see your stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
Man. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. If you want to learn more about viral marketing and how we help you do done-for-you video marketing, interviewing on a webcam, editing and optimizing email, taking care of all the work, go to getvyral.com, GETVYRAL. Again, like I said at the very beginning, a copy of the video marketing plan that Randy uses and we recommend for everybody. It's all of our clients implement right on the homepage of our website. And if you're interested, request a strategy session. Talk to us. We're not going to hard sell you. We give you a 30-day money-back trial on this. So if you don't like your videos, you don't like working with us, we send your first email out. Let's just say everyone unsubscribes. We'll give you all your money back. So the easiest way to kind of sell you on these concepts is just getting in front of the camera and doing it. That's why I want to kind of guide you and lead you through that if this is something of interest to you. So with that, we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Randy, thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
On a few